Hold it there! I said hold it! Stay back, Howard. It's a woman. She just nicked.
Do you know her, Sheriff?
Nope. But I think I got a flyer on her. Unless I'm wrong, she's a petty thief named Nellie Handley.
This should convict me.
Yeah. Are you sure you're all right, Victoria?
I'm fine.
Thought I'd aim too close. Hit you. Here. Use this. That printer's ink stains.
Thank you. Do you think we convinced the people in the street?
No worry there. They'll all be witnesses.
What's wrong, Dan?
Victoria, I can't let you go through with it.
But everything's arranged. My family thinks I'm visiting relatives in Sacramento.
That's where you should be. Not on your way to the state prison. If your family did know about this, they'd be down here like a shot. They'd never let you go.
That's just why they're not going to know. Nobody's going to know, just the two of us.
You realize what a place like that's going to be. Especially for a woman like you. Used to a big house, beautiful things.
I know it's not going to be any picnic. I know it's a pest hole.
The men's section is a pest hole. The women's compound is... Well, I've heard that Chinatown slave girls live better. You'll be sharing a space with prostitutes, murderers, even lunatics, Victoria.
But Dan, to get those things changed, the Prison Reform Board is going to need a first-hand report.
But you...
Dan, please don't try to stop me. I've been thinking about this ever since the day Maud Elliott got out of that prison.
I know Maud means a lot to your family, Victoria. But you don't owe her your life. And it could come to that in the state prison. Believe me.
A few years ago, Dan, Audra and I were on our way to Benicia. Suddenly, we both came down with diphtheria. They quarantined us right there in the stagecoach, and nobody would come near us, except a young girl by the name of Maud Elliott. She brought food and medicine, and she nursed us both until we were completely well. So you see, I do owe her my life. Nellie's me name. Nellie Handley.
Yes, Nellie Handley. I was just going over your papers here. Attempted robbery. Is that correct?
Speak when you're spoken to.
Aye.
You will address me as Warden Garrick. Now, of according to the report here, you've only been in America 2 weeks. Is that right?
Me home is in Dublin. Warden.
Dublin. And were you a thief there, too?
Thief indeed. 'Twas in the service I was, in a fine house. Lord Burley himself, personal maid to his lady I was.
Liar. Says here you were a pickpocket in the Dublin flea market. 2 convictions.
Well, no, I've had me share of bad luck, I'll admit to that.
Bad luck, eh, Nellie? I'd say more like bad blood. You know, Nellie, when I was practicing law, I used to see hundreds of people like you. Different faces, different crimes, but all born rotten. Let's just get one thing clear. You can't fool me. And I warn you, I deal severely with anybody that tries. So, if we have any Irish rebellion here, you'll wish you were dead.
Now, come on. Keep moving now.
This is the woman's yard. Men's compound's at the other side. Don't let that bother you. Only men you'll see here is us guards. Move. What's the matter, Handley? Don't our clientele appeal to you, huh? We got some famous people in here. Take Big Mary, for instance. Her and her 2 sons was road agents. Held up over 100 coaches before they got caught.
Why be she chained?
She's an incorrigible. She's been that way since the 2 boys was hung. That's a prisoner that can't be handled. Go on. Get away from her.
Just 60 years, she's burning with a fever.
That ain't so. Look out! Jake! Cool her off. Get up. You hear? You hear me? Quit faking!
There's a doctor she needs, not kicking.
You shut up! Put her in a cell. Start scrubbing, Handley. You might as well learn some discipline right now. Scrub! New roommate for you, Kay. Keep you from getting lonesome.
Thanks. It's an ugly song.
And if you don't listen...
My name is Nellie Handley.
Up the rebels, eh?
Aye.
Kate Wilson, Frisco.
Oh.
Thought the Irish was used to wash tubs. Talk travels quick here. What you in for?
Thief and jewelry.
Year?
Unless the warden sees fit to make it less.
Garrett gets paid for the prison. It'll be more, not less.
Be that legal?
Maybe not outside, but Garrick's the only law here. We already added at least a month today.
Today?
Button in over Mealy like that. Girl what fainted.
Ah, yes. Did the doctor see it to her?
Doctor won't be here for 2 weeks. Comes just once a month.
But 'tis dead you could be.
Yeah, it's one way of getting out.
Poor lad. Now, is there nothing we could do for her?
Do? Ain't you made enough trouble? You already got Clute down on you.
Down on me? For trying to help a poor sick lass?
Listen, in here, nobody helps nobody, living or dying. I don't want no link with you, understand? Just stay to your own side of the coop. I got enough troubles. Ain't you hungry?
Aching bones and moldy beans.
Well, at least they got meat in them. It's the first time this week.
Garrick wants to see you, Kate.
I ain't finished eating.
Now, what kind of attitude is that for a gal with a fine gentleman hankering after her?
Ah, gentlemen.
Well, what else would you call a man who practiced at the bar?
Only bar he ever practiced in was a saloon. Did he ever tell you the story about his being a lawyer? The closest he got to it was selling them legal books.
Well, how about that high society gal he met last time he was in Frisco, huh? She believes him.
That Francine something or other? I've seen her mincing around today. With a parasol. Think it was hot out.
Well, that's 'cause she's a lady, Kate. Ladies always carry parasols.
Look who's talking about ladies.
You know, her family is real big in politics. Now, if Garrick was to marry her, more than likely they'd pull some strings and get him in the legislature like he's always saying he wants. And then I might get to be warden, Kate.
Takes a fox to be warden. Pig's too dumb.
You want to keep that feathered mattress and them clean clothes, you start prettying up. I'm giving you 5 minutes.
Kate, the warden. Do you care for him?
Care for him. I hate him.
And why do you not refuse to see him?
You seen Mealy, ain't you? When she come here, she was pretty as paint. Now she's sick all over, maybe dying.
And ain't you be the same?
I told you I didn't want no link. I'm in here for 5 years. The only way to live through it is to not make trouble about anything.
It's sorry I am for you, Kate.
Thanks. I'd as soon have powder and perfume as wash tubs. till I'm ready.
How'd you like your first night at state prison, Handley? You sleep good? That's right, you keep working. With Mealy gone, you got a lot to do.
Gone? How do you mean?
Ain't you heard? Mealy died last night.
Did you not tell the warden she was ailing?
We're running a prison, not a hospital.
Does a human being mean nothing to you?
Prisoners ain't human beings, Handley. They're scum. Like this here wash. I'll break you for that, Handley. I'll break you. Hey! Bring them shackles! Put them on her. Fill up that tub and get back to work.
Told you not to make no trouble. Heading for the warden's office, Kate? Wait a minute. I'll carry you. I'd rather walk. She's been coughing like that ever since last night. Looks to me like she's got a fever.
Yep, sure does.
You really are a pig, Clute. A real pig.
So are you.
warm you better than that watered-down coffee.
Oh, no. No, my throat. Oh, my throat's as raw as a March wind. Oh. Oh. Thank you.
Cough all night. Either one of us will get no sleep.
Ellie. Oh. Oh, poor Maud. What have they done to you? What have they done to you? Oh. What have they done to you? Oh, poor. No. No, she's innocent, I tell you, Maud. Maud is innocent. Come home, Maud. Come home with us. Oh, Jared again. Oh, Maud! Maud, it's so good to see you
We
again.
missed you.
Oh, Maud, you're going to stay with us until you're completely well and strong. You're not to think of going back to the millinery store until you are...
Well, Marty! Say, it's good to see you. Welcome home. Hey, you lost a little weight, haven't you? I wouldn't worry about that. A few days we'll have some nice thick steaks for you. Fix you up in no time.
It's all right, Maud. It's all right. Now, there's nothing to be afraid of. Come on, you come with me. Come on. Right over here and sit down. Just relax. Nothing to be afraid of. That's the girl.
Jared, what is it?
Don't worry, Mother. It's nothing. Sheriff Bannock warned me this might happen. She's still in a state of shock.
Shock?
That prison she was in is a hellhole. Now, listen to me, Maud. There's nothing to be afraid of. You've got a full pardon. You're free.
Jared. Maud. Now, listen. You have been proven innocent of that killing. You never have to go back to that prison again. Not ever. Do you understand? Audrey, will you take her upstairs?
The devil they'd do to her in that place. Treated her like less than an animal.
Jared, this can't go on. It simply can't go on. We have to talk to the Prison Reform Board. You can't go on. The prison. You have to talk. Reform. Prison. Oh, board.
Clute! Hey, Clute!
What's going on?
I gotta see Garrett right away. It's important.
Board. Reform. Jared, we
Irish than I am. She talks just like us. Better even. Like she's somebody. A lady, maybe.
Well, if she's not Irish, then her name probably isn't Nellie Handley. If her name isn't Nellie Handley, what is it?
No trouble getting that answer out of her, Ward. We just beat it out of her.
None of that. She has enough proof as it is.
You really think she's a reform board investigator? A woman?
Why not? They've tried every other way to prove we've been mistreating these prisoners. Those fools, if they had their way, they'd make this prison a vacation land.
Yeah. What are we going to do?
Well, who brought her in here anyway? Sheriff Bannock. I'll just take a ride over to Bowstring. Have a talk with him.
Warden? About that porcelain bathtub.
What?
Says I won't have to wash in the trough no more with the others. You said I could have it next time I got some important information.
Sure, Kate, sure, it's yours.
Come on, Kate. Come on.
Get me out of bed just to talk about a sick prisoner?
Well, I thought you might be interested, Sheriff. Her name is Nellie Handley.
Nellie?
Yeah, I guess the rigors of prison life didn't agree with her. She developed a fever, became delirious, and made some very interesting revelations.
Get to the point, will you, Garrick?
Well, in the first place, she isn't Irish. Second place, her name isn't Nellie Handley.
Her immigration papers are all in order. I got a copy right here.
Well, that won't be necessary, Sheriff. I just happened to bring my copy along. Says here that she's from Dublin, and she supposedly arrived in San Francisco a week before her arrest, supposedly, on a brig called the Gull.
What do you mean, supposedly?
Well, I stopped off the newspaper office before I came over here, Sheriff. Thought I'd look over the files.
You've been waking up a lot of people tonight, haven't you, Garrick? You must be trying to cover something.
I'd say it was the other way around, wouldn't you, Sheriff? In any case, the Gull's casualty lists were quite explicit. Here's a copy of it. Nellie Handley died of smallpox before the ship docked in San Francisco.
Now, look, Garrick, I don't know what you're up to, but whoever that woman is, I saw her rob a pawn shop, and I've got eyewitnesses to prove it.
I'm not questioning your arrest, Sheriff. I think you managed that very cleverly. What I am interested in is who is Nellie Handley and what is her connection with Maud Elliott?
All right. She's Victoria Barkley. Her son, Jared, is Maud Elliott's lawyer.
Barkley. Stockton Barkley's?
She's on the prison reform board. How bad is she?
Sick enough to have a distorted view of prison conditions, I'm afraid.
I doubt it. I want her released right away. I'll go on back to the prison with you.
Sure, Sheriff, sure. You know, you've always had it in for me. Why? We're in the same business. We deal with scum. You have to keep them in line.
Sure, I keep them in line, but I don't live off them. Drain out their insides to fill up my pockets.
Prison is a place for punishment, Sheriff.
A lot of people feel different.
Like the Prison Reform Board. Those meddlers. Sheriff, what I don't understand is your interest in this. Or maybe it's you that's filling your pockets.
What?
Maybe the Reform Board is paying you.
The Reform Board doesn't even know about this. Nobody does.
Are you trying to tell me that only you and Victoria Barkley are in on this?
That's right. She wanted to make sure there wasn't a leak like there was before.
And her family doesn't know anything about it?
She didn't want to worry them none.
Well, I'll be darned. Sheriff, you have renewed my faith in human nature.
Let's go. Let's get it done with.
Yes, Sheriff. Let's get it done with.
You sure Bannock is the only one that knew about Handley?
I'm sure.
There's no chance you only wounded him.
Told you he's dead. Take that coat over to Kate and have her clean it. By the way, how is Handley? Is she better or worse?
Well, Kate says her fever's going down.
Oh, that's unfortunate. Afraid we're going to have to arrange a little accident for her. Preferably at the hands of one of the prisoners.
Well, I don't know. Them Barclays is mighty important people. If something should go wrong and they found out.
You know, Clute, with luck, in 6 months, I'll be in the state legislature. I think I could guarantee you the appointment as warden here.
This time tomorrow, Nellie Handley will be dead again. Go get some supper. I'll take over here a while.
Thanks, Clute.
Like a little wild turkey, Mary? Go on, I had plenty. Go on, it's delicious. Ain't that good, huh? You know, I think they've been a little too hard on you, Mary. Keeping you out here alone at night when everybody's inside. Stake to the ground like you was some kind of animal. A little kindness goes a lot farther. Like we do you a good turn, you do us one. Ain't that how it works, huh? I think so. I think, for example, if I promised you them chains would come off for you, and you'd be out of this here prison in 6 months, you might do me a favor. I want you to do something for me, Mary. Nothing you ain't done before. I want you to kill somebody. One of your prison mates. You say no, you'll rot here another 10 years. Staked just like you are now. You'll never see the other side of that fence except in your coffin. I'm making you the best deal you'll ever get. You think about it. Who is she? I'll send her out in a minute.
Get these chains off.
Get dressed. The warden wants to see you.
What for?
You just get dressed, Miss Nellie Handley.
How'd you get loose? They ain't gonna like it. They find out you busted free. What is it, Mary? I ain't done you no harm.
I'm doing somebody a favor. You ought to know about favors.
Open up! Open up, please, somebody! Could have been the end of me.
Aye. Of both of us.
You didn't have to help me. Why did you do it?
Well, now, I couldn't leave a body to be murdered.
I'd have left you. Nellie, I've got something to tell you. When you hear it, you're going to wish you hadn't helped me today.
Oh, Kate, you owe me nothing.
I've never been much on paying back before. Mostly, I took. You know why I'm in here? I worked for a crimp on the Barbary Coast.
A crimp?
It's a saloon where they Shanghai sailors. And before that, I was a shill for a traveling gambler. And before that, I started everything early.
Kate, what is it you're trying to tell me?
Other night, during your fever, you did a lot of talking. And I found out you ain't Irish. You got something to do with the Prison Reform Board. I don't know what, but that's why you're in here, not because of no crime.
Well, sharing the same cell, you couldn't help hearing.
Don't you understand? Do you know why I have perfume and fancy pillows? Oh, Nellie. I ratted on you. Clute and the warden know all about you.
So that's why Big Mary was loosed. Oh, I didn't think that was an accident.
Of course it wasn't. No more than Sheriff Bannock's getting shot last night.
Shot? Are you sure?
Warden got the news this morning, just after he got back.
You shouldn't have told them. The sheriff was trying to help you, all of you. We were all trying to help.
Well, they ain't worth it, Nellie.
Well, maybe not. But I need you to help me get out of here. Will you do it?
You trust me, even after I...
Yes. Yes, I do.
Yeah, Nellie. I'll help you.
Good. Now, my name is Victoria Barkley.
Ready, Kate? Hey. What are you doing in bed? I told you at supper that Garrett be wanting to see you. What's the matter with you? You sick?
Get the keys.
That Clute never smelled like lilacs before.
Hey, let's go.
Kate, what are you doing?
Just thought I'd keep you a little company.
You're supposed to be inside.
Well, You know that the warden gives me the run of this place, and I've been meaning for so long to get better acquainted with you.
But I'm on duty.
Well, then you'll just work a little harder tomorrow, hmm?
Not too bleeding, but I think it just nicked her. Oh, get down, get down. You wait here.
Where are you going?
Well, there must be a farmhouse or something where maybe I'll find a wagon and some horses.
Well, they'll spot you.
No, I'll be careful. But if they do, I'll tell them we got separated. I don't know which way you went.
You didn't really think you'd get away, did you, Handley? Still no sign of Kate. You ready to tell me which directions you went?
I told you I don't know.
When we get you back to prison, you will.
Jerry, I'm glad you're home. I was so lonesome I was beginning to talk to myself.
Oh, that's the first sign, you know.
Everyone deserted me.
Did Mother go with Nick and Heath to the cattle auction?
No, she went up to Sacramento to visit Aunt Ruth.
Well, why don't you go with her?
Too much tea and cake.
Mr. Barkley.
Yes, what is it?
Your mother. In the prison. Hurry.
Audrey, get a doctor.
But Kate Wilson is a notorious liar, as her record of convictions will show. She escaped 4 nights ago, alone. We've been looking for her ever since.
Well, you can stop looking for her. She's under the protective custody of the Reform Board, pending investigation of this prison. Here's the court order.
Well, very formidable, Mr. Barkley. My congratulations. This preposterous story.
Now you get this clear. Kate traveled miles with a bullet in her leg and gave herself up to tell me this preposterous story. Now, are you going to take me to the women's section or not?
So, Mr. Barkley, do you see your mother amongst these women?
I'd like to see the cells.
You are authorized to see the prisoners, nothing more.
That means all the prisoners.
I told you, you have.
You're lying, of course. Now, either you let me see those cells or my next authorization comes from the governor himself.
Fine. But until then, these cells will remain off limits to the public.
All right, Mr. Garrett. But I'll be back. You can count on that.
You prisoners get back to work!
Well, Clute, I'm afraid Nellie Handley will have to disappear tonight.
it, Barkley.
Wait until you get out to the middle of the lake before you dump her. I don't want her washing the shore.
Yes, sir.
No! No, no, no!
We're just going in that rowboat.
Hold it right there.
I'll take that, Kate.
Kate, oh, you so much. How can we ever thank you?
It's me what owes, just for being here.
Sure wish I didn't have to leave.
Oh, Kate, you'll be going back to the same prison, but it won't be the same way. The Prison Reform Board has appointed a new warden and replaced all the guards.
Ain't like being free, though.
Don't you worry, Kate. You'll be free. You just remember that parole system I told you about that's being set up right now. Yours is going to be one of the first hearings.
You think all them important men are gonna listen to me?
Well, the Reform Board listened to you, didn't they?
Guess you're right. Guess I don't have too much to worry about. You know I've got away with men. Always have had.
Oh, Kate.
You're not of age.
Just where do you think you're going?
I got a new business. Sawdust.
Sawdust?
For the saloon floor. They pay a nickel a bag.
Hey, well, I thought we agreed you weren't going to hang around the saloon.
I ain't hanging around, Pa. I'm delivering.
Well, you just deliver right back to the carpenter shop.
But, Pa, I just swamped for this route. Gave Tommy Davis 6 firewood customers for the silver slipper and the bucket of blood.
No saloons, Daniel. You just stick to selling frog legs to the cafe.
Yes, sir. Sure cuts down my profits.
We told you before. Get out.
No.
You won't be needing these supplies because you're leaving.
Stay here, Daniel.
Getting out like I told you. I'm telling you two for the last time. Get off of that claim you're working or we'll drive you off.
What's the trouble, Cusack?
We're trying to get rid of these scavengers. They're working that old mine near the Glover diggings.
We're not scavengers. The mine is ours.
That's right. They staked a claim 3 years ago when the mine was abandoned.
Scavenger claims don't count in my book.
They count in the town book. That's all I'm interested in.
You better take that up with Mr. Glover, Sheriff. He's the one that wants them off.
It's their mine and they stay. You bother them again, Cusack, and I'll jail you.
Okay, Sheriff. But like I said, you better take it up with Mr. Glover. We don't give the orders.
Thank you, Sheriff.
I'll help you with this. I thought I told you to stay put.
I was just listening, Pa.
You're always just where you can get hurt. Don't I have enough worries?
Mr. Glover's the most important man in town. He ain't gonna like you going against him, Pa.
I don't expect him to.
Well, what are you gonna do?
Whatever I do, I don't want you mixing in. It's too dangerous.
Yes, sir. There sure is gonna be a lot of trouble.
Glover house, please.
Welcome back to Glover House, Mr. Barkley.
Thank you, Charles.
It's good to see you looking so well. It's been a long time.
Almost 6 years. You know, the last time I came through that door, little Janice was sliding down that banister at me.
She's quite a young lady now.
I'll bet she is.
You wouldn't recognize her.
Jared, my boy.
Hello, Sidney.
How are you? It's good to see you again.
It's good to see you. I've been looking forward to it.
Charles, would you put Mr. Barkley's things in the East Wing, please?
Yes, sir.
Come inside, Jared. I've got a bottle of champagne waiting.
Good.
Yeah, this merger calls for celebration.
That it does.
Family well?
Oh, they're fine. Just fine, Sidney.
Merger papers all in order?
I've got them right in here and ready to be signed.
Good.
Can that possibly be Janice?
Yes. Had it painted 3 months ago, just before she went back east to finishing school. Beautiful, isn't she?
She certainly is. It's kind of hard to believe that that's the same little girl who used to beg me for ice cream.
Sometimes I wish she were still that same little girl. She's all I've got, Jared. I don't mind admitting this house is just a bit lonesome without her.
I can imagine it is.
The merger of the Barkley Glover silver mines.
To the merger.
Come in. Yes, Charles, what is it?
Sheriff Barrett is here to see you, sir. He says it's important.
The sheriff?
Yes, sir.
You mind, Jared?
No, not at all.
All right, Charles, have him come in.
Yes, sir.
You have a sheriff here now, huh? The last time I was here, all you had was a miner's court.
Yes, we hired him 3 years ago. Town's been growing so fast, we had to get some regular protection, especially for the property owners. Afternoon, Sheriff.
Afternoon, Mr. Glover. Sorry to bother you.
Well, that's all right. Gives me a chance to thank you for catching those night riders last week. They've been getting away with a lot of ore.
No thanks necessary.
This is Mr. Barkley. Jared, Dave Barrett.
Nice to meet you, Sheriff.
Same here. Barkley mine?
That's right.
Well, Sheriff, what can I do for you?
It's about that old mine between your claim and the Barkley diggings.
The one those Chinese are working?
Mm-hmm.
What about it?
2 of your men threatened them, told them to get off. They said they were acting under your orders.
Yes, that's right. We need that old mine. You see, the Barkleys and I are merging. We're planning to extend those tunnels and join our main shafts.
You can't do that. That mine was abandoned because the ore was low grade, left open to scavengers.
Temporarily, yes. But now we need it again.
The mine belongs to Wong Lo.
This must be some kind of a joke, Sheriff. What is the law on that point, Jared?
Well, most mining laws state that temporarily means 14 days. After that, the shaft is open for reclaiming by anyone.
But my crew dug that tunnel.
Unfortunately, Sidney, that doesn't have any bearing.
Wong Lo and his wife have been working that mine for 3 years. Their claim is on the town books. They've got a right to stay there.
A right? There wouldn't be any tunnel if I hadn't opened it up. And there won't be any town if those mines shut down.
What do you mean, shut down?
You see, Sheriff, our tunnels are getting so deep that we can't work them anymore without extra ventilation. We need that old mine for an air shaft so we can continue to use them.
Those diggings are the biggest in the lode. If they shut down, it'll bankrupt hundreds of people. There won't be any rim fire. Don't you understand, Sheriff?
Of course I understand. But you'll have to find some other way to keep them open. You just can't take Wong Lo's claim.
You mean you would let this town die for a scavenger? Whose side are you on, Sheriff?
When it's night riders, I'm on your side. When it's claim jumping, I'm with Wong Lo.
Now, wait a minute, Sheriff. We don't have any intentions of breaking the law. Look, Sidney, as long as this man has a legal claim, why don't we simply make him an offer and buy him out?
Jared, I'm not much for buying what already belongs to me.
I can understand that. But legally, there's no choice.
You sure of that?
Yes, I'm sure.
All right. If it'll save trouble, go ahead and make him an offer. But if he won't sell...
Oh, maybe we won't have to cross that bridge.
I hope not, Mr. Barkley. Because if you do, I'll be in the middle of it.
Good morning. You are Wong Lo? My name is Jared Barkley. I'm one of the owners of the Barkley mine.
I have heard.
Soon you will join it to the mine of Glover?
That's right. As a matter of fact, that's what I came to talk to you about.
Have you come with threats, Mr. Barkley?
I don't believe in threats, Wong Lo. I've come to make you an offer.
An offer?
Mr. Glover and I would like to buy your mine.
You will buy what you tried to take?
That was a mistake that I had no part of, Wong Lo. We'll give you a fair price, whatever you think your mine is worth.
Glover deals in blows. You in words. Neither will drive me out, Mr. Barkley. The mine is not for sale.
Now, wait a minute, Wong Lo. This is an honest offer. I've come in friendship. You must believe that.
The message of the hawk is seldom brought by a dove, Mr. Barkley.
Food's ready, Pa.
Yeah, I'll be right there, Daniel. Boy, I'm hungry as a prospector's mule. What are we having?
Rabbit stew.
Again?
Well, you like it, don't you?
Well, sure, but 3 times in a row?
What's the matter with that?
Well, you ever thought of having beef stew or chicken?
Chickens cost too much. Besides, I got the rabbits free.
Free?
Sure, trapped 'em.
Well, I hope you sure don't go to trapping bear. You know, you shouldn't be cooking anyway. You know where you should be? In school.
In school? But there ain't one. Anyhow, what for?
You're going on 11 years old now, Daniel. It's time you learn something besides mines and saloons.
You're teaching me, ain't you? I do sums every day.
Yeah, but sums and reading aren't enough. You need geography and history and things that take a real teacher.
What do you mean? You're a real teacher.
No, I mean somebody that studied it. Like they have in the big schools back east. Or in Stockton.
I can't go clear to Stockton just to go to school. Who'd cook for you?
Well, I'd eat at the cafe.
Their food's no good.
I get used to it. Got used to rabbit stew, didn't I?
I better wait till we get a school here. If I go to Stockton, it'll ruin my frog business.
Sheriff?
Oh, in here, Mr. Barkley.
Oh, I'm sorry to interrupt your meal.
Oh, that's all right. Mr. Barkley, it's my son, Daniel.
Hello, Daniel. I'm pleased to meet you.
Yes, sir. Me too.
What can I do for you?
I've come to talk to you about Wong Lo.
Have you seen him yet?
Yes, I've seen him, but I didn't get very far with him. He's not exactly what I'd call friendly.
Well, that's because folks have been so mean to him and his wife. He's really nice once you know him. He gives us kids rice cakes and paper...
Daniel?
Oh, yes, sir. I forgot.
Why don't we talk in the office?
Sheriff, how well do you know Wong Lo?
Line of duty, mainly. Why?
Well, do you think that if you went out with me to that mine, you could get him to just listen?
Maybe. But I'm not going back out there with you, Mr. Barkley. If he doesn't want to sell, that's his business.
I understand that, Sheriff. I just want him to understand how important that mine is to this town.
I still don't think I should interfere.
I'm not asking you to interfere. I just want him to hear me out.
It's too much like forcing him, Mr. Barkley. Wong's had enough of that.
All right, Sheriff. I'll go out and try to talk to him again by myself. But I think you're making a mistake.
sure hope Wong listens to him, Pa.
Hmm?
Because if he don't listen, Mr. Glover's gonna act. And somebody's liable to get hurt.
That's another thing they teach you in school, Daniel. Not to listen in on other people's conversations. Mr. Barkley? I've changed my mind. I'm coming with you.
I appreciate that, Sheriff.
Sheriff, we are very grateful. Very grateful.
Yes. We thank you. And you also, Mr. Barkley.
Pleasure to be of service.
That thing's too heavy to move by hand, Wong. You ought to get yourself a mule.
Mules are expensive, Sheriff. When a man has no money, he must depend upon his own strength.
Yeah, well, money's what we've come to talk to you about. Mr. Barkley wants to talk to you some more.
About selling the mine?
Mm-hmm. I don't want to take sides in this thing, Wong. What you do is your own business. But that offer that Mr. Barkley made you before it's important for a lot of reasons. I wish you'd listen to him before you make up your mind.
All I want you to do is hear me out, Wong Lo.
My husband, they have been kind. It will do no harm just to listen to them.
Very well. Since you think it is best, I will listen.
Wong Lo, do you know what a choke tunnel is?
It is very deep and very hot.
That's exactly right. So deep and so hot that men can't work down there. Well, the Barkley tunnels are almost that deep right now, and the vein is still descending. The Glover mine is in the same condition.
Now, you know how much those shifts are changing? Whistles blowing all day long. Men can't stand it down there more than an hour at a time.
We need your claim so that we can dig cross tunnels for more ventilation.
Ling and I need it also, Mr. Barkley, to make a living.
I can understand that. But I can guarantee you a substantial price for it so you can buy another business.
Where, Mr. Barkley?
Here, anywhere you want. It'll be a handsome profit, I promise you.
And if somebody decides they want that business, will we be asked to sell it also? When Lynn and I came here 3 years ago, we only had a cart and sapling. We found a tunnel, planted the sapling. Now we have a mine and a fine tree of heaven. It is difficult to put down roots, then leave them, Mr. Barkley.
It's difficult to ask you to, believe me. But it's not just for company profits. It's for everybody in the town.
Ling and I are not treated like everybody. Would like to help you, but we need roots. We cannot sell the mine. The day passes. We must complete our work.
wasting your time. All those scavengers understand is force. But don't worry. They'll get out.
Not that way. We'll just have to find some other way to ventilate those tunnels.
There is no other way. I've already talked to the best mining engineers.
Well, I'm sorry, Sidney. I cannot agree to force.
All right. Then find some legal way. Some loophole. Don't tell me you're squeamish about loopholes, too.
Yes, I am, when they involve human rights.
Now, Jared, this is no time to shilly-shally. There's too much at stake.
I couldn't agree with you more.
All right. The circuit judge will be here tomorrow. We'll let him settle it. Incidentally, he's an old friend of mine. I'll see you at dinner.
Well, it's got to be there somewhere, Judge Power. We know the claim was registered.
Oh, yes, here it is. Hello? Ling? I thought you said the name is Wang.
That's his wife. He registered it on Chinese New Year's. Put it in her name as sort of a gift. Actually, it belongs to both of them.
I see.
Those books were drawn up by a bunch of miners, Nathan, when Rimfire was just a camp.
The old miners' regulations are as valid as law, Sidney, and the state recognizes them as such, even now that you're incorporated as a district. I thought you said these people have been working this mine for 3 years.
They have?
According to the date here, they didn't register their claim until 6 months ago.
Wong doesn't know much about our laws, Judge. It took him a while to find out about staking claims.
Well, that's your loophole, Sidney. Under the State Exclusion Acts, aliens can't own property even when it's registered according to local mining laws. The acts went through last year, a couple of months before this claim was entered.
Well, Jared, that should simplify things.
I'm surprised you didn't check that date, Mr. Barkley. As a lawyer, you should be familiar with these new acts.
I am, Judge, thoroughly. I lobbied against them.
How soon can we evict them, Nathan?
48 hours. All you have to do is re-register your previous claim.
All right, Sheriff, notify them.
Is that a court order, Judge Power?
Yes, Sheriff.
Congratulations, gentlemen.
Hello, Mr. Barkley. Is this the library?
That's right.
Sure is big.
Come on in.
I'm looking for Mr. Glover. The cook said he was here.
Well, he was, but he had to go into town, take care of some business. He should be back in a couple of hours. Is there something I can do for you?
Will you give him a message?
Sure will.
Tell him that I won't be delivering his firewood anymore.
His firewood?
He's on my route. I bring it every day. Nickel low. Made a deal with his cook a long time ago.
Oh.
You probably don't know it, but I've been delivering his frog legs. I'll have to get one of the other kids for that, too.
I see. Won't that put quite a dent in your business? Mr. Glover must be one of your best customers.
Yes, sir. But I still won't be delivering them. Even if the other kids don't bring fresh ones and he gets sick on them.
Why's that, Daniel? Because of Wong Lo?
Wong Lo and Pa both.
You want me to tell him that, too?
Yes, sir. Tell him everything.
Daniel, there's something I'd very much like you to understand. I don't like this business any better than you do.
Mr. Glover likes it, and you're merging with him.
When I started that merger, I didn't know Wong Lo or anyone else would be affected. If I had any choice, he wouldn't be now. But I can't help it, Daniel. You see, that old mine belongs to Mr. Glover, so he has the right to do anything he wants to with it. That's the law.
I don't care if it is the law. It's wrong.
No, Daniel, it's not wrong. It's... Well, you see, the law isn't perfect. It can't cover everything.
That mine's all Wong Lo has. Don't Mr. Glover care about anybody but himself?
Of course he does. It's just that...
He sure wanted Pa to care all right when he and that committee met.
What committee?
After Ma died, Pa decided that we was going back to Philadelphia to live. Then Mr. Glover and the committee came and said that the town needed protection. Pa was the best person for the job. Everybody realized it. Because winning the Medal of Honor during the war proved that he wasn't afraid of nothing.
Your pa won the Medal of Honor?
Yes, sir.
He's right.
Then why ain't it protecting Wong Lo?
Well, it's like I said, Daniel. The law's not perfect. In this case, it favors Mr. Glover over Wong Lo.
What good is it if it favors one man over another? If it don't cover what's right? What good's Pa being a sheriff? Or you being a lawyer? What good is it?
Come here, Daniel. Sit down. You see, the law tries to be just. But if it isn't, it's usually because the people involved don't care enough to change it.
You're involved, Mr. Barkley. Can't you help some way?
I wish I could. But I'm sworn to uphold the law as it stands, just like your pa, whether I like it or not.
Well, anyhow, tell Mr. Glover about the deliveries. Will you, sir?
It doesn't belong to you.
Doesn't belong to us. But it is written in the book like all the others.
It was written too late. They passed some new laws. Only citizens can own property.
This is true, Sheriff? Really true? Yes, it must be so. Otherwise, you would not say it. The tree has taken root, but we have not. It is always so, Sheriff. Ling was born in this country, and I have spent most of my life here. But we are driven from place to place, like leaves in the seasonal winds.
What was that you said about Ling? That she was born here?
In San Francisco. Her mother was a servant in a rich house.
Whose house? What's the name?
Hamilton. Donald Hamilton.
What does this mean? Why?
You stay right here, Wong Lo. Understand? Stay right here till I get back.
Nevertheless, you were ordered to evict those people, not to question.
I can't evict them. Ling Han is an American citizen.
What? Oh, I don't believe it. They'd say anything to keep that claim.
She was born in San Francisco, a few months after her mother went to work for the Hamilton family.
Do you have proof of that?
Dates all filed in the city record building. Here's a telegraph. Donald Hamilton verifying it.
Well, that's good enough for me. I know Hamilton, and he wouldn't verify anything that isn't true. So, since Ling is a citizen, that settles that.
Not for me, it doesn't. My crew dug that tunnel, and I'm not giving it up for any pair of scavengers. I don't care where they were born. Sheriff, Judge Power issued an order evicting those people. I demand you carry out that order.
I can't. Ling owns that mine legal and clear.
All right, Sheriff. If they're not out by the specified time, my men will do it for you.
They can try. They'll come up against me and my deputies.
Very well, Sheriff. If that's the way you want it.
It's not the way I want it. It's the way it is.
Sidney, I've already told you I'll have no part of this.
I don't understand you, Jared. What is it? You feel you owe these people something because you have more than they do? Is that it?
It's much simpler than that. I have respect for the law.
Oh, fiddlesticks. You may be willing to close down your tunnels, but I'm not going to close down mine. Merger or no merger.
Then there's no point in staying here any longer.
No, there isn't. Why don't you just go?
Hello, boys.
How are you, Sheriff?
Hi, Sheriff.
I'm looking for deputies. Anybody got time to help?
What's the job?
Protecting a mine?
You mean protecting scavengers, don't you, Dave?
Pays 50 cents a day.
They ain't worth 5 a day.
That's right.
I'm not looking for opinions. I'm offering jobs. You want to work or not?
I'll work, but not for any scavengers.
Same here. Dave, that was Glover's mine in the first place. He wants it back. I figure he's got a right.
Yeah. Ain't nobody gonna side with scavengers, Sheriff.
They go for all of you?
That he does.
Thanks anyway.
Obeying the law doesn't seem to be too popular around here, Sheriff.
I thought Mr. Glover's guests did all their drinking in his drawing room, Mr. Barkley.
It seems I'm not Mr. Glover's guest anymore. We had a little difference of opinion.
Oh?
Unfortunately, he doesn't seem to agree with some of my convictions.
Which are?
Similar to yours, apparently.
What about the merger?
That's off, too.
Pa! Pa, they've got one low.
Got him? What do you mean?
There's a fight down at the mine.
Go home, Daniel.
Please don't. Let him go, please. Let him go, please. Please don't. Please don't. Oh, please!
Hold it, Cusack. I said hold it!
Thank fortune you have come, Sheriff.
Shut up! You stay out of this.
I'll stay out of nothing, Cusack. Now, you let that man... You did that?
Who do you think did it?
It's not as it seems, Sheriff. They came here, this one and the other one. They told us we must leave, and when we refused, the other one took Ling and began to beat her. And I couldn't stand it. My fingers found the axe, and I just couldn't stand it.
It was done for me. Sheriff, for me.
Don't cry, Ling. Afterwards, the others came with a rope.
He's lying. That murdering devil killed Pete in cold blood.
It was for me. See how they beat me?
Let him down.
He killed Pete. We're gonna string him up.
No. I'm holding him for the U.S. Marshal, Cusack. He's going to Stockton for trial. Now, for the last time, let him down.
Drop it.
All right, clear out.
We're gonna come and get him back. He ain't gonna leave town alive.
He is if I have anything to do with it. You know, you may change my mind about you.
So far, telegram get through all right?
Yeah. Marshal and his deputies will be here in a couple of hours.
That's good.
You got back quick, Pa. Did you get an answer from the marshal?
I'm dog-tired, Daniel. How about some coffee?
Yes, sir.
I'd like to ask a favor of you, Jared.
A favor? Anything I can do?
What's about Daniel? It's something I've worried about for a long time. Something I know his mother would have worried about if she was still alive.
I don't imagine it's been easy trying to raise a boy alone.
No, it hasn't. This town doesn't help either. You've seen what it's like, Jared, full of drifters, drunks, not even a school. There's no place for a boy to grow up.
Well, I wouldn't worry about it too much. A lot of good men have come out of towns just like this one.
Yeah, but most of them had two parents. Daniel's only got one. I can't even give him security. Sheriff lives from day to day, you know that.
You know, it's a funny thing. Most of the kids I've seen don't seem to give a hoot about security, just as long as they have love.
He's got that. All I can give. But if I should happen to get killed all of a sudden, he won't have that. He won't have anything. There's a boarding school in Stockton. He can get an education. Be able to take care of himself no matter what happens.
I know it very well. The Stockton Boys' School.
Yeah. Well, I've written to him, taken care of all the details. They say that Daniel can enter any time. Jared, your stage leaves in an hour. I've saved the tuition. I'd appreciate it if you'd take him to Stockton with you and enter him.
You told him about this?
No, not yet.
It's a little sudden, isn't it? From what I've seen, it's going to tear his insides out.
What do you think it's doing to me? If I don't send him quick, I'll lose my nerve.
Look, Dave, why don't you think it over a little longer? This town's growing every day. There's bound to be a good school here soon.
I've thought about all that, Jared. It doesn't change anything. I'm still a sheriff. A man with a gun in his belly all the time. If that gun goes off, I don't want my son to see it.
All right. I'll take him. But not on the next stage. I'm going to stay till that marshal gets here.
But I don't want you to stay. If those miners start trouble...
If they do, you're going to need an extra gun. And badly.
All right. I better go talk to Daniel. Coffee ready, Daniel?
Just about. And I heated some stew. Where's Mr. Barkley?
He's keeping watch.
Should I take him some stew?
Sit down a minute, Daniel. I want to talk to you about something. Yeah. You remember how it was 3 years ago when we lived up in the hills at our mine?
You mean the cabin? Before the claim jumper shot Ma?
Mm-hmm.
Of course I do. I remember everything. How she used to say poetry to me, fix my clothes, and how pretty she was.
Yeah, she loved you very much, Daniel. She always wanted the very best for you. That's why we moved into town right after she died. I thought you wouldn't be so lonesome, that I could take better care of you.
You do. You take real good care of me.
Oh, this job keeps me too busy. You have to cook and clean up. You have to wash your own clothes a lot of the time.
I don't mind. Ma always said it was good to know how to do things.
Yeah, well, she meant more than just those things, Daniel. She meant an education. She'd want you to be in school right now. I know she would.
Well, then maybe we ought to move someplace where there is one.
Sheriff's jobs aren't that easy to come by. I don't know anything else. I talked to Jared about it.
Mr. Barkley?
That's right, Mr. Barkley.
What did you talk to him about?
You're going to Stockton with him, Daniel. You're going to live at that school I was telling you about the other day.
You're fooling. Ain't you, Pa?
No. No, I'm not, Daniel.
But I don't want to live there. I want to live here with you.
No good here. Living next to a jail. Never knowing what's going to happen next.
I don't care what happens as long as I'm with you.
Well, I do care. You're going to get an education, Daniel. You're going to make a life for yourself away from here. Oh, Daniel, you'll like it. There'll be a lot of boys. You'll make friends.
No, I won't.
I'm sorry, boy. You're leaving as soon as the marshal gets here. Now, go get ready.
There's lots of time. I'll do it later. After I get rid of all my frogs.
You'll do it now. Right now.
Yes, sir.
It's for the best, boy. You'll see. Go on now.
They're coming, Dave.
Come on! You stay here, Daniel. Cover me inside.
Don't let them take you, please, Mr. Bartley.
Don't worry, Wonglow. They won't.
You can't have him. You stay back or somebody's going to get hurt.
Get out of the way. You're going to be hurt.
I'm warning you, Cusack, and all the rest of you. Stay back or I'll shoot.
You can't shoot us all, Sheriff.
I don't want to shoot anybody, Mr. Glover, but you can't have Wong Lo.
That scavenger has done enough damage. He's killed one of my men. A merger that would have benefited the whole town. We're going to see that he pays.
And I'm going to see he gets a fair trial.
He's already had a trial. Been found guilty, right, boys? I'm warning you, Sheriff, for the last time. Stand aside.
Not a chance.
I'll kill the next man that moves.
Pa! Oh, Pa! Pa!
Well, Sidney, you came here to destroy law and order, and I'd say you've done a pretty good job.
Is he hurt bad?
You're pretty lucky this time. It's only a flesh wound.
What you had to do it for? What for? We should help him like he's always done. Like he's done for a lot of you. Because Wong Lo was in trouble. He's always helped everybody when they was in trouble. Everybody. Ever since he came into this town. Remember when the mine beams fell on you, Cusack? And how Pa stayed by you till the doctor came? Fed you whiskey so it wouldn't hurt so bad. And how about the night you was gone to Stockton, Mr. Corcoran? And how Pa fetched your wife, just in time for a baby to come. He never left you alone neither, Mr. Glover. Even if you are rich. Remember when your daughter was cutting that Snowden stage? And everybody said that they couldn't get through? You said you'd get through if it killed you. So you rode out. You and Pa. And when your horse went down, Pa brought you and Miss Janice both in safe. He stood by every one of you. sometime or other. Why couldn't you stand by him? Why couldn't you?
Well, gentlemen, in addition to everything else, it looks like you all have short memories.
Huh?
Stay where you are, Sidney.
He needs help.
You can help best by getting this rabble out of here.
All right, men. Back to your jobs. Stay there. Go on. Sheriff, I've been a hard-headed businessman all my life, but I always pay my debts. Jared's right. We do have short memories.
I'm sorry about coming out, Pa. I tried not to. But I heard the shots. And I knew he was out here. Alone. I had to come out. I just had to.
I'm glad you did, son.
Do I have to go away, Pa? Really? I mean, can't I just stay? Can't I?
You better. Can't expect me to eat at that cafe all the time.
Mr. Barkley, since yesterday, Ling and I owe you much gratitude. Because of this we have talked. We will sell you and Mr. Glover the mine.
I'm happy to hear that, Wong Lo. It'll mean a great deal to the town of Rimfire.
Money will mean much to us in getting a lawyer.
Don't you worry about that. You've already got one at no cost.
Not much of a case against you anyway, Wong. Cusack admitted that you did kill Pete in self-defense.
Perhaps Ling and I will have roots after all.
Well, Dave.
Bye, Jared. Thanks for everything.
Daniel, I want you to promise to take good care of your paw.
Don't you worry. I will.
Senator Bennett, I'm from the Stockton Eagle. Sure didn't expect to see you driving this stage.
Well, I had no choice, honey.
Something happened to the driver?
Yeah, a couple of fellas held us up 4 or 5 miles out of town, you know. They nicked the driver here in the shoulder. A couple of you boys get a hand. Get him out of here. Come on, Archie. All right, boy.
Did you recognize them?
Didn't have time to recognize him. Just shot him. All right, get the man over to the doctor now.
Well, a term in Congress doesn't seem to have spoiled your aim, Senator.
Why should it? We're always taking pot shots at one another in the Senate chamber, huh? Well, I certainly didn't expect anything like this. A warm welcome homecoming. I want to thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Yes. Thank you, one and all. Stockton Eagle, eh?
Well, Senator.
Well, now. I hardly expected a welcome from the opposition.
I'm not extending one, I assure you. I live here at the hotel.
I thought maybe you'd come to bury the hatchet, Your Honor.
My party's never going to make peace with gunslinger politics, Bennett. No matter how colorful they may seem.
Sometimes I get the feeling that Judge Daggett doesn't approve of me.
How about a statement, Senator?
Why, just one second. I'd be glad to oblige you, young man. There you are. I don't make no bones about it. I've come back to run for re-election. I want the job, I can do the job, and I'm the best doggone man in the world for the job.
I'll second that.
Victoria
Jim.
Buckley, you are a sight for hungry
I
eyes.
heard you were coming to Stockton. Is Amelia with you?
No, she's still in Washington. We thought the trip might be a little too much for her.
What are you doing here? I thought you'd be at the ranch.
Oh, we're having the house renovated, and I'm staying here till it's finished.
Family with you?
I'm beginning to wonder if I have a family this week. Nick and Heath are out on the range, Jared's staying in the bunkhouse, and Audra's in New York.
Little lot in New York.
Mhm.
We do have a lot of catching up to do.
Almost 6 years.
Say, what about tonight, dinner, huh? Just the two of us, we can fill in all the gaps.
It sounds wonderful.
About 7 o'clock in the dining room.
Fine.
Victoria? Are you still fond of pheasant and a chilled bottle of Chablis?
Mm-hmm. And our Chablis was particularly good this past year.
It's a shame we can't arrange with a hotel to furnish us with a gypsy orchestra.
Your company is enough, Jim. See you.
Dr. Nagel, huh?
That's right, Senator.
Thank you. Oh, be sure and spell the name right.
Of course, I knew Ben had once courted Victoria Barkley before he got married. I never realized their relationship was so close.
Victoria, during the time I was in Washington, I think, the most difficulty I had was trying to learn two things. First, how to control my temper, and secondly, how to balance one of those silly little teacups on my knee.
Well, apparently you managed both very well. I didn't hear of a single incident while you were in Washington.
No, otherwise there wouldn't have been an opposition senator or a teacup left in one piece. You're absolutely right, Victoria. This Chablis is excellent.
We had a lot of rain last year, and that makes a great difference.
No, it bears out what I've always said. Given proper irrigation, there isn't anything you couldn't raise in California. Why, it could be the greatest, the richest agricultural center in the world.
Well, I imagine we'll come to that someday.
If only we could convince people like William Daggett that the most important problem is water. What we need is an aqueduct, a canal system of some kind, No, all they can think about is how much money it's going to cost, not how much money it will eventually earn for the state. They're blind. They have no foresight. They're just not in touch with destiny.
You really believe in this state, don't you?
Yes, I do, Victoria. Yeah, I was raised in the Sierras, brought up, schooled in a gold mining town. I guess I'm just part of the dust and the dream.
I suppose we all are. Otherwise we wouldn't be here. And so, to destiny. Oh, I've missed you and Amelia these past years. I wish she were here.
So do I, Victoria, but our doctor advised against me.
Are you blind? Huh? Why don't you watch where you're going?
Oh, it's all right,
The
Jim.
clumsy fool.
Now, wait a minute. Wait a minute. I want to make it up to the little lady.
Take your hands off.
Come on, little lady. I won't buy you.
Take your hands off her. Drunken fool.
Jim!
What's the matter with you?
No.
You all right?
I had that coming. Sorry, ma'am.
Guess I haven't learned to control my temper as well as I thought. I'm sorry, Victoria.
Mrs. Bartlett?
Who is it?
Message from Senator Bannard.
Just a minute.
He's in room 20, ma'am.
Jim.
Huh?
Victoria.
Oh. Hey, I'll be right there. Good night. What?
What is it? What happened?
Happened nothing. What do you mean?
But this note, it said to come here right away.
Well, I didn't write you any notes.
Well, I don't understand.
No, neither do I. What is this? Who brought you this?
Well, one of the clerks, I guess. I don't know. I was half awake. I merely glanced at him.
I don't like the looks of this. We better get you back to your room.
Hold it, Senator!
I figured Daggett was desperate, but I didn't think he'd be this desperate.
Judge Daggett? Oh, no, I've known him for years. I don't agree with him politically any more than you do, but this...
I'm afraid you've got a lot to learn about politics, Victoria. His only chance of winning this election is to discredit me. Yeah, it looks like the honorable judge has embarked on a smear campaign.
Well, what are you going to do?
Victoria, this is going to be bad enough for me, but I'll be I'm not going to let him drag you into it, and the sooner he knows that, the better.
But you haven't any proof. If you start trouble...
I didn't start the trouble. He did.
All right. At least talk to Jared first. Find out where you stand legally. But this may not even be politics. Now, there are some people in this valley that don't particularly care for the Barclays. It could be aimed at me.
All right. Jared at the ranch?
We'll be there in an hour.
Yeah, he had everything all set up in advance. The camera, ladder at the window, the rig waiting outside the hotel. All he had to do was snap the picture and run.
Did you get a look at him?
Well, no, the flash kind of blinded our eyes for a minute, Jared, you know, and it all happened so fast.
And you're sure there were no witnesses?
It was 3 o'clock in the morning.
Well, how about outside? Could anyone have seen him use the ladder?
No, not even the town drunk was up that late. Oh, it was a mighty clever frame, all right. A married United States senator traveling alone meets up with a beautiful widow that he once courted. Well, it fits just as neat as a hook in a boot, hmm?
It fits, all right.
You know what bothers me the most, Jared, is what this scandal could do to your mother's reputation. Just smear it right...
Oh, hang my reputation. I've been gossiped about before.
But not like this, Victoria. They'll drag your name through the mud in every barber shop, pool hall, saloon. Everybody from preachers to drunks will be talking about you.
My name has probably been mentioned in worse places than saloons.
Oh,
yeah. But the important thing is, how will all this talk affect your chances for re-election?
Badly, I'm afraid. If we can do what it did to Andrew Jackson, think what it'll do to Jim.
Yes, the political consequences are going to be bad enough, and well, then there's Amelia.
Amelia?
Sure. Newspapers will blow this up out of all proportion. When she sees that picture in the paper...
Oh, surely she won't believe anything like this.
You're a beautiful woman, Victoria. And Amelia's known all along that I've been very fond of you. It could worry her, and with her heart as bad as it is...
Now, wait a minute, Jim. I think we're getting a little ahead of ourselves. Let's deal with what has happened, not what might.
Uh-huh.
Now, first of all, I think you should stay here tonight.
Here?
Right here. The work on the house is almost finished, and you planned to be back here tomorrow anyway, didn't you?
I can't stay here, Jared, especially after what's happened. Well, people will be gossiping even more than they are now.
That's exactly the point, Jim. You've always stayed here, and if you don't stay here now, it's going to make people wonder what you are hiding.
Jared is right. Now, think about it, Jim. Think about it. If you do leave here now, what do? Just stop talking to each other and ignore each other when we meet?
I just don't like to be hamstrung. Now, I'm going to find Daggett, and I'm going to stop this thing before it even starts.
If you do that, Jim, without proof, Daggett won't need those pictures. He'll sue you for slander.
I guess maybe you're right. All right. I'll stay here. Because if I go back to that hotel, I'd probably run into him, and you know me and my short fuse.
Exactly. So you just sit tight. I'll check around town tomorrow. I've got some pretty good informants. One of them might know something.
Fine. Thanks, Jared. Just try to remember, waiting has never been one of my strong points.
$1, ladies and gentlemen, I'm holding here in my hand, weighs less than half an ounce. By measurement, no more than 1.5 inches across. It's small. But nobody can tell me how hard a man has to work to earn one of these. Because, you see, my family were farmers. And at a very early age, believe me, I learned what it took to put $1 away in my jeans. I'll tell you something, I haven't forgotten that. I'm not ashamed to say that I value money. And I can't spend $1, mine or yours, without first knowing where that dollar is going and whether I'm going to get a full dollar's value in return. And I'm distressed, my friends. I am appalled by some of the men in our government who squander our taxes as if it were so much corn seed, who instead of being the guardians of our money, are ready to pour it out in all kinds of wild, fanciful schemes. Now, you take my opponent, Senator Bannock, for example. Now, this man argues that building aqueducts is progressive, is far-seeing. There's no such thing, my friends. It is as reckless an idea as I've ever heard. And in the end, could bankrupt this whole state. Now, that's not a far-seeing idea, is it? Senator Bannock is no visionary. I'll tell you what he is. Senator Bannock is a man of incredible impulse. We all know of his record of impulsive acts, the gun duels or fist fights. Only the other night at the hotel, he almost battered a man senseless. Now, some of you may admire behavior like that, but I want to tell you that rashness has no place in the Senate of the United States. We don't want a hair-trigger temper in our representatives, my friends. We want stability. We don't want scandal. We want dignity. We want sanity. And if you agree with me, and you know how to mark your ballot, defeat this man, my friends. Show him the only trigger we respect is the vote.
Thank you. Thank you.
Well, Jared.
Hello, Will. Oh, thanks, Sam. Give my best to your wife.
Haven't seen you in quite a while.
How have you been?
Busy, especially with the elections and all.
I can imagine.
I don't suppose I can count on Barclay support.
Afraid not, Will. Politically, we're still on opposite sides of the fence.
Well, that's what makes horse races and elections.
I guess so.
Oh, I didn't see Bannock at breakfast this morning. I understand he cut quite a figure in the dining room last night. How was he?
When I see him, I'll ask.
Sombrero.
Sombrero. I knew you'd remember me. Look what I got for you. I remember me, old Jimbo. Sure enough, your old trail buddy, you do. Huh? Well, I thought sure enough you would. How you been? Huh? You looking good. How are you? It sure is mighty good to see you again.
He's been waiting for you, Jim. Hasn't answered a whistle and, well, ever since you left.
Hey, that's it, huh? I sure gonna hate to leave him, you know. We sheriffed a lot of trails together, me and Sombrero. But then, if I shouldn't win the election, I wouldn't have to leave him. That'd be kind of a bright spot, wouldn't it?
Well, I see Sombrero still remembers you.
I sure did. Great old boy, ain't he, huh? Just as sleek and sassy as ever. I bet you he can still outrun anything in sight.
Well, now, I don't ever remember him outrunning Misty Girl.
Well, he never really tried, you know. He didn't want to discourage her.
That has all the earmarks of a challenge.
It is.
You got a race. Length of the pasture and back?
All right. He's getting my saddle out of the barn. Oh, do you think Misty Girl will be able to make it to the end of the pasture and back?
Oh, let's go. Did you find out anything?
I've only had one day.
No luck then, Jared, huh?
Not yet, Jim. I checked the hotel. The room next to yours wasn't rented.
Well, then he must have had a pass key. And what about the valise and the camera tripod? What did the desk clerk say about that?
There wasn't any. The room was undisturbed. I checked with the housekeeper when she went in this morning to dust.
But that's impossible. We both saw the equipment.
Obviously, he had an accomplice. Now, somebody else had to be registered at that hotel to cover up his tracks for him.
That brings us right back to Daggett.
Not necessarily, Nick. This might answer a few questions for us, Jim. It was left at the hotel desk this morning for you while the clerk was off duty.
Yeah, you're right. It certainly does.
Here you are, Jim. I'll have you saddled up in just a minute.
You forget the saddle. Take a look at this.
Where'd this come from?
We don't know. It was left at the hotel this morning.
You still suggest we wait, Jared?
Yes, I do. This picture gives us motive, but not proof.
You know, one time when I was sheriff, a bunch of riffraff tried to frame me for cattle rustling so they could grab this little gold diggings I was working, you know? I didn't have any proof then either until I beat the truth out of one of them.
Jim, you're not a local sheriff anymore. You can't afford that kind of direct action, and you know it.
Well, it's better than sitting around waiting for that trap to close. Look, I kept my mouth shut because you asked me to. But I'm not going to let a thing like this be passed around.
Nick, you so much as go near Daggett, and it's going to give even more validity to that picture. Now, I'm telling you, as a lawyer, if you do anything foolish, the opposition is going to welcome it.
I'm not going to withdraw from this election no matter what. So, Jared, you go ahead and get the proof. I don't care how. And get it fast.
Get over here.
Where you going?
Into town?
This hour? Business or pleasure?
Business, but somehow I think it's going to turn out to be a little pleasure.
Like breaking into Daggett's office, trying to find those pictures?
And the plate that made him.
You know what Jared said about direct action?
Oh, now, Heath, you know I'm no politician. That doesn't apply to me.
Well, his office is in the middle of town. That's pretty risky, Nick.
Then stay home.
What makes you think I'm going?
Because you don't trust me.
That's right.
Uh-huh.
I'll saddle up.
Uh-huh.
I don't believe you gentlemen had an appointment. But then, perhaps you Barclays are in the habit of calling in the middle of the night.
This isn't exactly a call, Judge.
Oh? Well, what then? Oh, yes, apparently you were searching for something. May I ask what?
Quit playing possum, Daggett. You know what we're here for. The pictures of my mother and Jim Bannard.
Pictures?
That's right.
Pictures? You gentlemen amaze me more and more. I'm a jurist, not a photographer. Breaking and entering is a criminal offense. I'm surprised you Barclays would stoop to it.
We're surprised you'd stoop to blackmail.
That's a serious accusation to make without proof. As a lawyer, I'd advise you against repeating it. Unless you want even more trouble than you have now. The sheriff will be passing on his round soon. You know, I've known your family for years. I'd hate to do anything, shall we say, to embarrass you. So I suggest you leave before he arrives.
tired. No sense you getting all riled up. We're just trying to help.
Help? Help who? Daggett? You certainly didn't help Jim.
Well, at least we did something. We didn't sit around and talk about
Whose harebrained idea was this anyway? It sounds like one of yours.
No, wait a minute. It
Well,
wasn't
what
such a
makes you
bad
think Daggett is going to be stupid enough to leave those pictures in his office? If he has got them, they're going to be in a safer place than that.
What happened?
Go ahead, Nick. Tell her.
All right, what is it?
Well, Heath and I ransacked Daggett's office tonight.
Ransacked it?
Did you get the pictures?
All they got was caught.
Caught?
No, wait a minute. Don't blame Heath. It was all my doing. He only went along with it because he couldn't talk me out of it.
Where is Heath?
Down in the stable, unsaddling the horses.
Nick, you've really done it this time. Not only have you broken the law, but you've handed Daggett a nice present all wrapped up in blue ribbons. If he isn't involved with the pictures, he knows now that we've got something to hide. And if he is involved, he knows that we're scared.
Guess we sure messed up things, didn't
That's putting it mildly. With your kind of help, you've already got him elected.
Jared, I admitted we made
Nick, you are the most stubborn, mule-headed...
Wait a minute. That'll be enough of that.
All right, boys, all right. Now, you listen to me. We're a family. Mistakes or not, we stand together. Now, I suggest we all go to bed, get a good night's rest, and discuss this in the morning when we're calmer.
You're right. I'm sorry, Nick. I guess I got a little carried away.
Well, I guess we both did.
Let's turn in.
Good night, Mother. Jim.
All right.
Sure.
Victoria, last thing in the world I want to do is cause any bitterness between your sons. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
It's gonna be like old times, isn't it, huh? You and me riding out together? Come on. Come on, boy. Come on.
Jim!
Well, now, where in blazes is he going?
Probably going for a ride.
This early in the morning?
Sure, best time of day to go.
Maybe we best follow him.
Nick, I think we better mind our own business for a change.
Yeah, well, all right.
Well, this is an incriminating picture. I don't wonder that you and the Barclays are concerned about it.
You deny seeing this picture before?
Are you insinuating that I have?
Well, it's pretty obvious from the message on it that the opposition party's behind this. And you are the opposition, Daggett, whether you're willing to admit it or not.
Bennett, you seem to be making a pretty serious accusation. I hope you're prepared to prove it.
I'm prepared to back it up with action.
Ah, action. My dear Senator, without proof, that would be as indiscreet as being photographed in your hotel room with Victoria.
Who said it was my hotel?
Well, isn't that the obvious place? I simply assume that you and...
Is it obvious? Well, Victoria had a room in the hotel, too. How do you know it wasn't in her room?
Your room, her room, what difference does it make? The point is, you finally slipped up. You've finally been caught in something that'll show the voters what an unprincipled man you are.
You're a liar and a blackmailer, Daggett. I might not be able to prove it, but one thing, I'm not going to stand still for a smear campaign. If you're going to try and discredit me, you're going to have to do it not only in public, but at gunpoint. Do you understand me, Daggett? At gunpoint.
Violence. You think that's the answer to everything, don't you, Bennett? Violence. Well, I'll tell you something. It isn't going to work this time. You're not going to force me into a gun duel with you, no matter what you do.
I'll be waiting for you tomorrow morning at the south edge of town, Daggett. And if you're not there, I'm going to come and get you.
You do, you'll meet the sheriff.
Sheriff won't be able to keep me away from you forever. Tomorrow morning. I want to remember, the only man who's going to withdraw from this election will be the dead man.
beginning to think you weren't coming, Gil.
I wouldn't have if your message hadn't said it was so important. It's risky meeting this close to town.
I didn't have any choice. I want some more prints of that picture right away.
I told you to let me make more than just 2 copies.
I didn't think I was going to have to use them. But Bannard refuses to withdraw. Here's the plate. I want enough prints for every newspaper in the state.
All right. But you'll have to pick them up. I'm not coming out here from Oxville again. With a man like Bannard involved, it's just too dangerous.
All right, I'll tell you what. I'm driving to Sacramento in the morning. I'll pick them up at your shop on my way.
Oh? Our original deal was for $200?
That's right.
This will cost you a little extra.
What are you talking about? Our deal included as many prints as I wanted, and you know it.
It didn't include 2 trips.
All right, I'll give you another $50.
150 sounds more like it.
150?
Bannard would probably be willing to pay even more.
All right. You just better make those prints legible. Or you don't get a cent.
Your clerk said you'd be back in a few minutes, so I decided to wait.
I presume you came for the same reason Bannard did.
Jim was here?
Oh, yes. A couple of hours ago. He showed me that rather, shall we say, interesting picture of the two of you.
I didn't know he was planning to discuss this with you.
We discussed nothing. He insulted and threatened me.
That picture is a fraud, Will. I came here to ask you to put a stop to it.
Indeed. And what makes you think I could?
Well, it may not be your doing, but obviously someone in your party is behind it. And with your influence, you could certainly put a stop to it.
Last night, your sons ransacked my office, accused me of arranging for the picture. Now you come in and ask me for my help.
What Nick and Heath did was wrong, but they were trying to end a vicious smear, and so should you. No matter what you think about Jim, I can't believe that you would condone such dishonest tactics to defeat him.
Jim Bannard is an impractical man with plans that will ruin this whole state. He's also a violent, unprincipled killer. He proved that today when he threatened my life. I feel that anything which defeats him is a service to the people.
Then you're willing to allow this fraud to go through?
Fraud? I wasn't in that hotel room, Victoria. Only you and Bannard were. You'll regret that, Victoria. Believe me.
I doubt it.
Victoria? You can tell your Senator Bannard I won't be at the edge of town tomorrow morning. I'll be driving to Sacramento. By the time I arrive, I'll expect word of his withdrawal from this campaign.
I knew we disagreed on politics, Will, but not on principle. Obviously, I was wrong. Good morning, Jim.
Good morning, Victoria.
Breakfast will be ready. What are you doing?
You said Daggett was driving to Sacramento this morning. I'm going after him.
With those?
Mm-hmm. That message he sent was a threat, Victoria. It was carefully disguised, yes, I'll admit, but nevertheless a threat.
So are those pistols.
At least they're honest.
Daggett is not going to fight a duel with you. He told you that yesterday.
And I'll just have to make him change his mind.
do you want, Bennett?
Victoria gave me your message, Daggett. I'm here to give you one last chance to settle this thing honorably.
Honorably? Well, I couldn't outdraw you, and you know it.
All right? We'll even the odds. I'll give you first shot with a dueling pistol.
You're even more of a fool than I thought you were. I don't deal in guns. Get out of my way, Bannard.
Very well. You leave me no choice. But first, I'm going to have to relieve you of those pictures.
You'll relieve me of nothing!
He's dead, Jim.
Gotta find those pictures. Nothing. He must be in his valise. Got to be in here. One. There's got to be more than one. It just doesn't make sense.
Maybe the sheriff will find more.
What are you talking about?
A man is dead, Jim. We have to report it.
You know what that could mean? Huh? But they'll accuse me of murder.
But it was an accident. I saw it.
You saw it. You, the compromised woman. The woman who was photographed in my hotel bedroom in the middle of the night. Don't you realize what the prosecution can do with that?
But the picture is a fraud. All we have to do is find the photographer.
The photographer has gone. Victoria, don't you... Will you please just listen to me? But you see, without a witness, your testimony means absolutely nothing. Huh? Why, they just tear you to pieces. They say you were lying to protect your lover. They might even accuse you of being an accomplice. No, the best thing for us to do is just walk away.
Walk away?
Sure. There's nothing here to connect us with Daggett. No pictures, no nothing. They'll find the body. They'll assume it was a robbery, and nobody will ever know any different.
We'll know it, Jim.
Victoria. If it was only my life that's at stake, or my political career, I wouldn't ask you to do this. But there's no point in reporting this now to the sheriff. Daggett's dead. We can do nothing for him. But if I have to go through a murder trial, even though I won't be convicted, but the excitement, the tension, it could very well kill Amelia.
I'm sorry, Jim. I can't withhold evidence. even for Amelia.
Well, what are you doing? I won't let you do it. You understand? You can't. I won't. You big...
Tori. Oh. Forgive me. Please, I just lost control. Do what you have to do.
Anybody here?
With you in a minute. Good evening, ma'am. What can I do for you?
Now, don't pretend you don't know me. We met the night you delivered that note.
Note? I don't understand. There must be some mistake.
There's no mistake, and you know it.
How'd you find me?
Judge Daggett is dead. This picture was found in his valise.
Daggett is dead?
It was an accident.
What kind of accident? Was Bannard involved?
Yes. But it didn't happen the way you think. I saw it. Now, I need your help. Unless I can prove that this picture is a fraud, my testimony won't mean a thing.
Oh, no. I'm not getting mixed up in any murder. I've got enough trouble.
You're indirectly responsible for this tragedy. One man is dead and another's life is at stake. Doesn't that mean anything to you?
Not when it's him or me. You know, just being part of a blackmail plan is a jail offense. And it wouldn't be my first one.
All right. If you won't testify willingly, I'll have you subpoenaed.
I'm getting out of here just as fast as I can.
You won't get very far. Once I report this, every sheriff in this state will be after you.
Oh. Well, we can't have that, can we? Not for a while. Not for quite a while.
Oh, I wish Jared would get back. I'm as spooky as a cow pony with a burr under his blanket. Can't even write a letter to Amelia.
Would you like me to write to her?
No, thank you, Victoria. The words will come. Maybe I'd be better off to wait until we hear what Gil had to say. Victoria, suppose he won't admit that the picture was a fraud. You know, he can say that Daggett hired him just to get a picture, proof that we were lovers. We won't be any better off than we were before.
But Jared has the note Gil wrote the night he took the picture. He can't deny his own handwriting.
Well, in his boots, he'd be smart to deny everything and stick to it.
Jared's handled tougher cases than this. He'll break them down.
I hope so.
You can pour me one of those, Jim.
Jared, I thought you'd never get back.
I'm sorry it took so long, but that photographer was a little tougher to crack than I thought.
But did he confess?
All of it.
Oh, Jim.
Thank you, Jared. Thanks.
It was my pleasure. Of course, there'll be an inquest, maybe even a trial. But with Gil's testimony and Mother as an eyewitness, you haven't got a thing in this world to worry about.
Well, Jim, it looks like your chances for re-election are better than ever.
Provided, of course, that the voters are willing to accept the testimony on its face value.
Well, of course they'll accept it. They like you. And what was it you said that night at dinner? That you wanted to be part of the dust and the dream.
Jim, I think these voters want that dust irrigated. And they figure you're the...
I'll tell you what I think. I think them stinking Murphy boys are the one that scattered them. You don't want to know why? I'll tell you why. Because they happen to know we're in the middle of a roundup, and they're just mean enough to spook them out on us.
That's what you think, huh?
That is what I think. I also think I ought to go over there and bash a couple of Murphy heads together.
Well, you're getting so heated up, I think you ought to do that.
I just might do that. You want to come along?
No, thanks.
Well, I'll go alone then.
You know, Nick, sometimes you get so brave, you scare me.
Yeah, well, now what are you staring at?
I wonder what those buzzards are staring at.
Well, there's one way to find out, isn't there?
I know. Let's go look.
All right, come on, get.
Nick. I know that's painful. Here now. Drink this. Now, lie back. Go twist around. Best to leave those scratches uncovered. All right, Nick?
Good night, Nick.
Well, you've been talking about having a vacation. Here you are. You can sleep all day and have your meals served to you in bed. I'll get you a bell and you can ring it when you're hungry.
What?
I've been trying to tell you how lucky you are. Nick? Are you all right?
Fine.
Sure you are.
How is he? Well, he's got 3 broken ribs and some nasty lacerations on his legs and chest.
That cat did quite a job on him.
Quite a job. Knowing Nick, however, he'll probably decide the whole thing was nothing at all and be trying to kick up his heels in a day or two. But don't let him. Keep him in bed for 3 days at least. Then slowly let him get up and move around. He'll be all right if you don't let him push it.
Doctor, he seems so strange.
Yes, what is it? He looks at you, but it's as if he isn't seeing you.
Well, that's only natural. He's still in a state of shock. He'll pull out of it all right. I'll look in on him tomorrow. Maybe around lunchtime, if you still have some of that pickled goose at the cooler.
You've just gotten yourself an invitation.
Good. In the meantime, Victoria, get yourself some sleep. Good night.
Thank you.
Ah, don't you worry. Doc's right. If I know Nick, he'll be up and around in no time.
Well, I'll never complain about his hollering around the house again.
Now, be careful. In a day or two, you might have to eat those words.
Come on, let's get some sleep.
Get him off of me! Easy! Get him off of me! Get him off of me! Get him out! Get him off of me! Easy! Easy!
You're right. Must have been dreaming. You raised me about a foot off the floor. Sorry. Sorry. Can I get you anything?
No.
You go back to bed. I'll be fine. Go on back to bed. It's okay. You rest easy here.
Well, well, look at him. I'd say he's practically ready for a foot race.
A short walk to the breakfast table will do for today.
He might be a little stiff on the outside, but his belly must be working all right.
Empty sack won't stand up, you know. Spoken like a true Barkley. Take more than a little old pussycat to keep Nick down, huh?
Personally, I think he's too tough and stringy. Cat's probably got indigestion.
Well, if that cat does have indigestion, I think the best thing we can do is put him out of his misery. Tanner should be here today. Who's Tanner? Professional hunter. I wired him yesterday. Why?
That cat hit another steer yesterday, Nick.
That's no reason to call in a professional hunter.
Well, we're short-handed on the roundup now. We can't spare anyone.
Planning on getting that cat myself.
Oh, Nick, you can't be serious.
Nick, you get up on a horse and you'll shove those busted ribs right through your lungs.
It's not likely. Besides, I'm only bossing that roundup so as you can rest.
That's fine. You can boss the roundup. I'm going to get that cat. Sorry, Nick. You can't have him. Mr. Tanner? My name is Jared Barkley. They told me at your hotel I'd find you here. If you don't mind, I'd like to have a little talk.
Mr. Barkley, I paid very good money for this private performance. So why don't you drink your wine and enjoy it,
Thank you very much. But if you don't mind, I would like to get right down to business.
I never mix business with pleasure, Mr. Barkley. And this is my pleasure.
Tell me, Mr. Tanner, how much longer does this performance last?
Another 2 hours.
Well, if you don't mind, I have some other things I'd like to take care of, so maybe you could meet me in my office after this is over with.
Relax, Mr. Barkley. Culture is good for the soul. You'll just try a little of this rice wine. I'll explain to you what's going on. That girl has just found a beautiful jade bracelet and is caught in the dilemma of whether to find the owner or keep it. What she does not know is the bracelet was left outside her door by a handsome young suitor. She couldn't accept an outright gift from him, so he has chosen this subterfuge to get it into her hands. She cannot resist it, and the young man, of course, can now announce that it is his gift. You see the subtlety of the Oriental mind, Mr. Barkley.
Oh, yes, perfectly.
Good.
Jared tells me you're quite a fan of the Chinese theater.
Well, I enjoy in life what I can afford. Good wine, good art, good people,
You hardly seem like a professional hunter.
Well, hunting is my business. Living is my pleasure.
Well, you come highly recommended.
And you are even more gracious and lovely than I've been told.
Oh, Mr. Dana, you are a charming liar.
I would be if I had to, Mrs. Barkley. But in this case, lying is totally unnecessary.
Now, Mr. Tanner, just when is it you plan to get started?
Before dawn.
Good. If you'll excuse me, I'm off to Sacramento in the morning, so I have to turn in early. Good night, Mother. See you at breakfast, Nick.
And I think it's about time for you to turn in, Nick.
I want to say something first.
Oh?
I'm going with Tanner tomorrow morning.
Nick.
Mr. Barkley, I think you'd better understand something. You can't come with me. I work alone.
I think you better understand something, Tanner. I was against hiring you in the first place. Now, there's nothing personal in that.
Even if I allowed you to come along, Mr. Barkley, you're in no shape for it.
I'm the best judge of that, don't you think?
Well, there's no point in pursuing this any farther. You hired me to hunt down the cat. That's what I'm going to do. Alone. Good night.
Nick, I thought we settled all this at breakfast. You were going to stay here and rest. Now,
Mother,
this
I'm a
doesn't-
fast mender. Probably a medical marvel.
Nick,
Now, what do I have to do to convince you? Would you like me to run around the house a couple of times holding my breath? Or maybe you'd like to see me jump the corral fence? Oh, come on, Mother, stop frowning. Look at this smiling face. I'm the picture of health.
Nick, I won't buy it, Nick.
Mother, that cat hit at me, and I'm going to hit back.
Revenge. Oh, for heaven's sake, Nick, that cat is a dumb animal. You're a man with intelligence and reason. You don't need revenge.
It's getting late, and I got to get up pretty early in the morning. I best get some sleep. Good night.
Nick, there's more to it, isn't there?
It's just something I have to do. So. Good night.
What do you think you're doing?
Told you last night I'm going with you.
I said you weren't.
Well, here I am, right beside you.
Barkley, that is not an ordinary cat. A man wounded him once, or he wouldn't have attacked. And he'll attack again at the first smell of you.
Take my chances.
Oh, well and good. But there's the matter of me also. I've done this all my life. I know more than most, and that edge keeps me alive.
Well, I'm not about to take away that edge, Tanner.
But trying or not you will, you're a cripple and an amateur. I won't risk taking you along.
Well, then you best go back to the ranch and pick up your fee, because I'll go it alone anyway.
All right, Barkley. You want to track Cat? Come on. Tired, Barkley?
Not too tired to realize that you've been traveling in circles for the past hour.
Well, it's only a little over 3 miles back to the ranch. You could make it before noon.
If I was to turn back, but I'm not about to.
Why?
You quit stalling, Tanner. Let's get on with this.
keep you from coming along with me. It doesn't mean I have to explain my moves to you.
Uh-huh. Well, the way I got it figured is since that cat's been fired at the last 3 times he's been near the herd, he's probably gone up high and let things cool off a bit.
Well, that's pretty fair figure, Mr. Barkley. Glad to see you're aware of what's happening.
Well, I was just checking to see that your thinking was correct, Mr. Tanner.
Well, since you're so knowledgeable on the subject, maybe you could tell me what my next move should be.
Well, I'd say since we think that the cat is in this area, it might be wise to stake out some fresh meat.
Not bad. As soon as I decide the right place to do that, I'll just give it a try.
Ci darem la mano, la mi dirai di sì. Vedi non è lontano, partiam bene mio da qui.
You don't like Mozart, Mr. Barkley?
Well, it's just bad coffee, and I don't like waiting.
First rule of the hunter, Mr. Barkley, learn how to wait it out.
We staked fresh meat out for that cat 2 days ago, and he ain't showed up. I don't think he's anywhere in this area.
Well, I hope that cat isn't as impatient to get to you, Mr. Barkley, as you are to get to him. What the devil do you think you're doing?
The cat. Right over in the rocks. The cat.
That cat won't come near this fire, and you know it.
But I tell you, I saw him.
Barkley, the only cat around here is the one in your head.
Still say I didn't see that cat in the camp last night?
Well, since he supposedly was standing on the rocks where he couldn't leave tracks, you'll never know, will you?
You mean you'll never know?
He came down to feed from up there. You okay?
Yeah, I'm fine.
Sure, you're in great shape.
But I'm fine.
You're caving in. Now, why don't you sit down before you fall down? His legs hurt.
How bad?
Well, they won't be carrying you for a while. That meadow we came through a ways back, I saw a cabin. I'll take you there. Hello there.
What's happened to him?
Well, fate's played a cruel trick on my brave young friend here. His horse took a fall and went lame. He's got a couple of busted ribs.
That's so.
Yeah, a roof and bed would be most appreciated.
He does look in a bad way.
I only need a couple hours of rest, ma'am.
This is my wife, Beth.
Howdy. Tanner is my name. This is Nick Barkley.
Maybe we should ask him in, Tom.
See what you can do for him.
Something wrong?
You, play poker?
Oh, yes. Little. Once in a while. Low stakes, of course.
Yeah. $20.
Well, now, I think I'll call.
Straight.
Yes, let's see. Now, you have a straight, and I have all hearts. Now, let me think. That's right. A flush beats a straight, doesn't it?
I gotta get some money out back.
Here. Try a little of this, Mr. Barkley.
What is it?
It's a special broth I fixed for
Oh.
you.
No, that's very good, thank you.
Why, you're a generous and sweet angel of mercy, Mrs. Giles.
I'm not really Mrs. Giles.
You're not?
No. Mr. Giles won me from a saloon keeper in a poker game. I just thought you might be interested in knowing that. Now, drink your soup.
Ready?
Let's say we raise the ante, Mr. Tanner.
You mean play for more money?
It's a general idea.
Well, if you really want to, Mr. Giles.
Jared,
Good evening, Mrs. Barkley.
I didn't hear you ride up. How did everything go in Sacramento?
Once again, I must modestly admit that my brilliance as a barrister saved the Barkley family from total destruction.
Total destruction?
Well, maybe just a minor annoyance. He's still on roundup?
Mm-hmm.
How's Nick?
He's gone.
What do you mean gone? Gone where?
After the cat.
He went after that cat?
Mm-hmm.
When?
Shortly after you left for Sacramento.
Well, why didn't you try and stop him?
I didn't see him go.
Well, then how do you know he went after the cat?
Because I know.
Well, at least you could have done is sent somebody after him.
It wouldn't have done any good. I'm sure he's with Tanner.
The devil has gotten into him anyway. What suddenly is so almighty important about hunting down a cat?
What was so important when you went out to ride lightning during the middle of winter last year?
Well, what's that got to do with this?
He doesn't see the comparison.
Well, that's odd. I see it very clearly. You wanted to break the horse. Instead, the horse broke your leg.
Well,
So at midnight, with your leg in splints, you sneak out of the house and climb on the poor animal's back.
maybe I was just trying to prove that I... And maybe I see the comparison after all.
We'll just have to wait until he gets back. We'll just have to wait.
Beth. You keep staring at me.
Sorry. I keep getting the feeling that maybe we've met before.
We haven't.
I don't usually forget a face.
You never forgot mine. Because you never saw it before. This is my hand, Tanner. This time, I got you beat.
Well, now, Mr. Giles, I've got your money, your horse, your saddle, your cabin.
Bet you 200.
But you haven't got 200.
I'm good for it.
Sorry, Mr. Giles, I never play on credit. However, it wouldn't seem fair not to give you a chance to recoup. So I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll call your 200 against your wife. If the lady is agreeable.
Well, if you're sure you've got him beat.
All right. All right. 3 aces.
I have 3 queens. And 2 9s.
You stinking... You cheated me!
Mr. Giles, what makes you say that?
You made me think you didn't know much about poker.
Mr. Giles, I never said I didn't know poker. I just didn't say how much. All right, Mr. Giles. Now, even though you are a very poor loser, I'm going to be very kind to you. I'm going to let you go over there and get that horse. Just the horse. Because I'm going to keep the saddle. And I'm going to let you ride out of here, all right? All right. All right.
What's happening?
Well, there he is. Oh, bright-eyed like a hungry fox. Did you sleep well, Mr. Barkley?
What's going on? What was all that fighting about?
The evils of gambling. He was a very poor loser.
Oh, well, we best get moving.
Right you are. But you have got to do one thing first.
What's that?
You have got to put your boots on.
Oh,
well, you kind of like him, don't you?
Yes.
Good. Then, keep him here.
You're leaving him with me?
Mm-hmm. He keeps chasing that cat in his condition, he'll kill himself.
Aren't you going to say goodbye to him?
No, it's best I don't. He can be a little stubborn sometimes. I'll, stop on my way back down the hill. You hear 3 shots, put the skillet on, because I'm going to be hungry. Oh, have fun.
I got a berry pie, Alvin.
Where's he going?
After the cat. What are you doing?
Saw a couple of wild horses in the meadow. I'm going to get me one.
But you're not well. And Mr. Tanner said for me to take care of you.
You tell Mr. Tanner that you tried. When I catch up with him.
Nick.
Oh. Just what do you plan to do with that?
Mr. Tanner said for me to keep you here.
Berry pie wouldn't work, so you figure the gun will, huh?
It's for your own good.
And you're the judge of what's best for me, huh?
What? But you're not thinking clear on account of you're sick.
Beth, if you're going to use that gun, you best go ahead and do it. Because I'm walking out of here.
I guess my pa was right.
What about it?
He always said that I was uglier than a mud fence.
Well, I'd say your father was either half blind or crazy.
I don't hardly remember. Ran off when I was 11. And I've seen a lot of ugly things since.
Beth, I don't know what you've seen, but you've gotten a lot prettier than that mud fence.
Then why you want to leave?
Well, I just have to finish what I started.
Stop on your way back?
Leave it.
Mr. Giles, where did you find that rifle?
There's more than one cabin in these hills.
Pays to know the territory. I suppose you want your money back.
Mostly. I want your hide.
You know that feeling I had about knowing you before? Now I know where I saw your face.
They say a man's memory improves sometimes. Just before he dies.
Stanton. Ted Stanton. And your face was on a wanted poster in Stockton.
You'll recall, I used this on more than one man.
You know the law has thought you dead for a long time.
I was living a quiet life. You took my comforts. Shamed me in front of my woman. I hope you're ready for your comforts.
Put that rifle down. Put down that rifle.
How long were you standing there?
Long enough for him to put a slug in you.
Well, why did you stop him?
That's a very interesting question. It'll take a few seconds to think of a very interesting answer.
Barkley, you're asking for trouble. You know that, don't you? You don't hunt a cat with a spooky horse.
Nothing wrong with this horse.
Oh, sure. Saddle on its back for a couple of weeks, it'll be fine, but right now you two are strangers.
We'll get acquainted.
There's no time. That cat's pretty close. Now, if you can't control that animal, we could get in trouble.
That's my worry. Let's move out.
You know, Barkley, you're not a coward. That cat's close.
I guess you're right about this horse. I'll tie him off down below.
have satisfied your soul? You up to filling your belly? I promised that angel of mercy I'd fire 3 shots so she could put the skillet on for us. Jammed.
It's jammed.
How long has it been jammed?
I guess we'll never know. Well, I suppose it was meant to be, Nick.
What's that?
It was your cat.
Yeah. It was my cat.